You're listening to a New York Islanders episode of the Jacob Valk Show. He's breaking down the team's latest goings-on as only he can. Follow him on Twitter at RealJacobValk. Here he is, Jacob Valk.
Islanders fans, welcome to another New York Islanders episode of the Jacob Valk Show. I am the Jacob Valk, except no imitation. It is impossible to have a good feeling about the Islanders right now. Since I last spoke to you about this team, they've gone 2-2. Their defense has looked wholly inept in their last two games. Semyon Varlamov comes back, starts his first game of the season against the Wild, and gives up 3 goals. It's tough to win when you give up 3 goals. That means that you need to score at least 4 to win. The Islanders aren't that type of team that's going to score 4 goals a game. They're 27th in the league in goals per game at 2.45. They're not an offensive team. They've never been an offensive team under Barry Trotz. Ilya Sorokin against the Devils was even worse. He gave up 4 goals. And now the Islanders have to go up against 2 of the best teams in the NHL. The Florida Panthers, who at this very moment have the most points in the league, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Both those games are in Florida. They're going to be in Tampa tonight and Sunrise tomorrow. Then it is back to New York for the grand opening of UBS Arena on Saturday night against the Flames. That will start the stretch of 41 of their final 69 games being at home. What did I say about the Islanders? All they needed to do was tread water until they got to UBS. Be in the playoff hunt, play good hockey, then watch out. But it's impossible to feel good about the Islanders right now. You want to tell me the point total is misleading because they've played the fewest games in the NHL? Okay, I see your point, but by the time tomorrow hits, they'll actually be tied with the Avalanche. They're not as far behind in games played as you'd think. The Islanders have played 11 games. The Avalanche and Blue Jackets have both played 12. The Blue Jackets play tonight against the Red Wings. The only 2 games tonight, Islanders Lightning, Red Wings Blue Jackets. So the Blue Jackets move to 13. The Islanders move to 12, where they'll be tied with the Avalanche. So don't make it seem like every team in the league has played 15 games. They haven't. I mean, it's impossible to really be 100% confident in the Islanders. They only have 12 points. They are third to last in the Eastern Conference. They are 5-4-2, meaning that they are under 500. 5 wins to 6 losses. The power play is pathetic. The defense isn't where you'd like it to be. The guys who you really wanted to step up haven't been stepping up. It's not a good time to be an Islanders fan right now. It can change. Like in 2 weeks, they'll have the first 4 games at UBS under their belt. Then they play at the Garden. You know Islanders fans will travel to that. And then they travel to Philly. You're not going to get a ton of Islanders fans for that game. That's a Tuesday night in Philly. Sunday night in Manhattan, not the end of the world. Tuesday night in Philly, no one's doing that drive. So like in 2 weeks, it's possible that I'm saying that the Islanders are turning their season around. They're looking really good. Being back in New York has really helped them. But I just find it hard to believe that they're going to be able to flip a switch and look like one of the best teams in the NHL overnight. I mean, one argument that I've seen is that the Islanders aren't getting regular playing time. It's impossible for them to get in a groove. They're only playing like twice a week. Cry me a river. So what's the alternative? You want to go back to last year? Where we crammed 56 games into 4 months? There were stretches where teams were playing 5 games in 7 days. Is that what you want? That's not an excuse. I understand that athletes are creatures of habit, and long layoffs between games can hurt. But that's no excuse to be last in the Metropolitan Division. That's no excuse to have the second fewest goals scored in the league. Like, here's the thing. I have sky-high expectations for this team. And every Islanders fan should have sky-high expectations too. Back-to-back years in the penultimate round of the Stanley Cup playoffs means that you don't have the luxury of getting off to a slow start. You don't have the luxury of making the playoffs but then losing. You want to tell me if they make it to the Cup Finals and lose, that's a successful season, or another Game 7 exit? Okay. I see where you're coming from, but at some point, the Islanders are going to need to win. And there's no time like the present. I mean, right now, I just don't see it from this team. This is a team that plays well when they're bad. Like, they win games where they're not playing great hockey. But they're losing games where they're not playing great hockey. So I'm left with no other conclusion than they're a bad team. I mean, let's look at the off-season acquisitions that Lou Lamoriello made. Kyle Palmieri doesn't have a goal yet. Same thing with Zdeno Chara. Same thing with Zach Parise. You know the Islanders have 9 regulars that haven't scored a goal yet? That's half the team. How many skaters do you dress for a game? 18. 9 skaters. Half the team don't have a goal yet. Palmieri, Noah Dobson, Chara, Parisi, Adam Pellick, Ryan Pollock, Casey Cizikas, Andy Green, and Matt Martin. It doesn't get any worse than that. You want to tell me that 5 of the guys I named are defensemen? Defensemen can't score? Tell that to Roman Josi. Tell that to Adam Fox. Tell that to Kevin Shattenkirk. Aaron Ekblad, Dougie Hamilton, Ben Sherratt, etc., etc. Give me some offense. Zach Parise was brought in to be a stabilizing presence on the third line. He has not been that. The guy only has 2 points in 11 games. I expect more than that. Kyle Palmieri. You were so comfortable giving him a big contract and putting him on the first line with Leon Barzell that you let Jordan Eberle walk. Palmieri only has 5 assists. Let's look at what Eberle's doing for the Kraken. Oh, he's leading them in scoring. He's leading them in goals with 8 and points with 12. The New York Islanders are not playing good hockey. The idea that they're going to flip a switch on Saturday and immediately become great is nonsense. It doesn't work that way. Let me ask you something. If they lose these 2 games against the Lightning and Panthers, you going to have confidence in them? You going to have confidence in them against the Flames? You going to have confidence in them against the Leafs? You going to have confidence in them against the Rangers? I'm not. It's not impossible that the Islanders can turn their season around. I'm not saying that they're going to miss the playoffs. I'm not saying blow everything up. But I really want to see a step in the right direction from now to November 29th, when you get another one of these New York Islanders shows. I mean, right now, who are the only good players on the Islanders? Sorokin? Nelson? Barzy? Beauvillier? Maybe Bailey? Definitely Wallstrom? Probably Anders Lee? Maybe Pajot? That's 5 definites, 1 probably, and 2 maybes. That's not going to get the job done. You need more than that. This bottom 6 needs to step up. The defense needs to step up and get more involved on offense. Stop allowing so many shots. How's this for a stat? Out of all the goalies in the NHL to play at least 10 games, and there are 21 of them, Ilya Sorokin has faced the 6th most shots per 60 minutes. He's faced 32.5 shots per 60 minutes. To put that number into perspective, last year, Varlamov faced 28.9 shots per game. Sorokin faced 26.6 shots per game. The Islanders have a lot of things to clean up. Can they do it? The answer is yes. I have the utmost faith in Barry Trotz that he's going to get this right. If that means firing Jim Hiller, I'm okay with that. If that means jumbling up the lines a little bit, I'm okay with that. Just don't let it get to the point where you've dug yourself too deep a hole so that when you start to climb out of it, it's too late. We're not there yet, but I'm a little concerned about the Islanders. I still think they can right the ship. I think they can go on a big run soon. And I think they can do special things. But I'm not at 100% confidence. I'm probably at, let's say, 82.5% confidence. It's still high, it's just not as high as it was. Like I said, you'll get a New York Islanders show in 2 weeks. Week from today, you'll get a Brooklyn Nets show. Regular episodes of the Jacob Valk Show come your way every weekday afternoon. Until next time, I'm Jacob Valk, and always remember, if you disagree with me, you're wrong.